Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be listening or watching from, at whatever time of the year you may be watching or listening to this video. So this video is to demonstrate a SSL web server traffic, basically how users can access information securely. This is provided by what we call encryption algorithm using the secure socket layer for web access. So that's what I will be demonstrating here by providing, this is a lab environment, I should say, but this is the same thing you would have done even if it was a production or a live environment. So we will be creating some keys and generating some certificates. So the only difference is that certificate will be generated by a self-signed certificate authority. So that is the only difference. But other things you will do will be similar or will be exactly the same, even if you had a publicly registered domain. But in this case, it's not publicly registered. It's just like for demonstration and for test purpose. That's what we are doing here. All right, let's go. We've already pre-created some virtual instance in AWS, but we've got Azure as well, so we can be cross testing this lab here. So I've already created a web server in the AWS environment. So this is the web server here. The only difference is that this is not a secure web traffic. So what we want to do now is to make it secure by making it SSS, HTTPS. That's what we are planning or we are trying to do. So let's get going to that. So what we'll do is, first of all, I will create I'll try to elevate my root here. I already have the script on my system, so I will just elevate mine, and I will be navigating to this path here to be able to make those changes, because we will be making the changes within the conf file and directory. So within the directory, we will be creating the key and the certificate within the conf directory. So this is us creating the certificate, and this is a key being created here as well, but it will be within this directory. So like I said, this is a lab environment. I will not be creating any or answering any question. However, you can see they are optional. In this case, for lab purposes, they are optional. But in real life scenario, they are not optional. We need to do that. So I will be doing that. And I think I've just remembered now. I'll create another one so that we can start from the beginning as well. So what I need to do now is to request. So to sign the request in this case. So that's already signed there. So now what I'm going to do next is to install the module for the SSL on this instance. So that is complete. Then I will be making a couple of changes. with this within the SSL conf that we just created. I will be making a couple of changes there using the Vim module. So I will be doing this with the certificate and the key. So these two here, the certificate and the key. So if you remember, what we just did is we will be doing this within the HTTPD, the conf directory, and the server.crt, which is the file. That's where we're saving it. So similar to here, just to remind you, what we're trying to do is we are making this traffic secure. Basically, what we have now is unsecure for test purposes or for other purposes that are not in the production, that does not contain personally identifiable information or secure information or information that should be relatively confidential or sensitive. We need to make this secure to be able to host and kind of assure us that this information will be securely transferred between other applications, servers, or databases, or even with whom may be accessing those applications once they are installed. So that's what we're trying to do. So I want to make it secure. Right now it is there, but I want to make it secure. That's what we're doing. So we're going back to web server, and we go to the conf directory within the server. Okay, so sorry, I may start something here. Do that, sorry now. So I believe this should be fine. That's all we want to do here, just to update these files, which we have done. All right, that's done. So what I need to do now is I've already created the Apache server. So we just need to do what we call to restart the service and make sure it picks up all the new changes and the updates we've made to it. So we restart the system. So we restart it due to a few changes that we have made. So it's restarted. So what I'll do now is I'll try to access the same information using the secure HTTP. As you can see, it is, even though it's not secure, it's just warning us, but we can go ahead if we want. So it's telling us not to click on it because it's not secure, but for us it serves the purpose for which we want to have it. You can see it's saying there is certificate error, but it's taking us to where we want to go. And what I'll be doing is I'll be using a Windows instance to do exactly the same thing so that I can actually test if it's working or not. So did I say Windows? Sorry, I meant a Linux instance in Azure, right? I meant in Azure, not Windows. In Azure. Obviously, I can do Windows as well, but let's do Azure first. So I'm doing core HTTPS. Can you see what's the address here? So let me copy the address. I'll bring it on the screen. So the address for the Linux is, let me use the public and the private. So this is the public address. What did it say here? Call failed to verify the legitimacy of the server and therefore could not establish secure connection. All right, so let's do the private IP. So it's exactly the same error message. Failed to verify the legitimacy. Obviously, we know it's not completely secure, right? But I thought it should go through. So let's do it from Windows in Azure. So I have a Windows server open here as well. So it's the same IP as you can see, the same IP here. So let's just add an S. Let's see if it will. So it tells me that it's not secure, which we are aware of, but at the end of the day, it's still taking us there in a secure, relatively, it's not secure, but it's telling us we have some error, right? So this certificate presented by this website as error. This problem might indicate an attempt to fool you and intercept. Obviously, that is correct, but that's not what we are trying to do. We are not fooling ourselves, but we're just kind of testing that we can actually generate a certificate, keys and certificate by ourselves, and be able to carry out this, so that before we actually go out to get the certificate authority and keys from the certificate authorities, we have already tested that it can actually work. That's what we're trying to do before we now go out to spend the money needed. I'm sure we need to spend some money excuse me, to create the access, to create the generate the keys and the certificate for us. All right, so that kind of brings us to the end of it. I think this is really quick and very straight to the point. Nothing really. So that's us done. So do not hesitate to please do subscribe to this channel, and I will appreciate if you did. What we have learned here, I hope it's useful and you find it helpful in the future. Do feel free to subscribe, make your comment. We will definitely reply or do a lab to answer your question or clarify by message or whatever way we need to respond to your comment. We will do by another video session or by another video presentation. Whatever is needed, we shall do to answer your question in the best possible way. All right, thank you so much. All right, see you soon. Bye.